Hello everybody, Lergs here, welcome to my channel. I'm here to save you time and money. And today my Piaggio Vespa GTS will not start. Now the battery looks like it's got a good charge on it, but I'll show you what I did to try and fix it and then ultimately how I got it running again. Right, let's get cracking. This is my Piaggio Vespa GTS 300 here, and this is a modern Vespa. Now don't be put off by this video if you haven't got a GTS model. This should be the same procedure no matter what Vespa you have. So please carry on watching because it could be relevant to your problem. This is a modern Vespa, so it's got electric start, it's got no kickstart and it's fuel injected. Now the Immobiliser light is on the dashboard, so we've got power. The first thing to check is the kill switch. Make sure this hasn't accidentally been put into the kill position. This will kill the engine and it means you won't be able to start it. Now incredibly, on the GTS model, when you lift the seat, sometimes this can actually knock the switch and activate it. So make sure you definitely check that switch. And before I turn the ignition on, I've already hooked up a multimeter to the battery, and you can see here I've got 12.75 volts where it's just sitting there doing nothing. Now that's actually pretty good, pretty normal. What I'll do now is just turn the ignition on but not start it up. And if I just pull the brake lever, that obviously puts on the brake light at the back, and already we've got a massive drop. It's down by over 2 volts. Now that shouldn't happen with a really good quality battery. Now what I'm going to do is actually try and start it, which is the issue, it won't even start. Ready, go. And there we go, it's dropped right down to 3 volts. It literally hasn't got any power at all to do anything. Now I don't know whether this is a dodgy battery, it could be a dodgy fuse, or maybe the alternator's not charging. So the first thing I'm going to do is check all the fuses. Now on the Vespa GTS 300, the fuses are inside the glove box here. So just pull this cover off. And then what you need is just a pair of long nose pliers, and you can just check each of these one by one. It's always worth checking fuses first because that could be a nice simple fix. Now this one's in good condition, not broken at all. I'm going to test all of these, but obviously I'm not going to show it, but just make sure that you test all the fuses on your Vespa. I tested all of those fuses and none of those were blown. Let's put the cover back on. Whilst I'm doing that, there's a link above now where I review and ride the Vespa GTS 300. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a donor battery and I'm going to attempt a jump start. So I've put the crocodile clips on the relevant terminals and I'm going to try and jump start my Vespa. Now hopefully this will prove whether it's the battery or not. Right, let's give it a go. Fabulous. So I've actually got it running, so that's a good indication, that's a good sign. But oddly I've got this injection warning light, engine warning light up on the dashboard permanently, which is a bit of a worry. That could mean that the alternator is not charging the battery. Now if I take one of the crocodile clips off that's charging it, the Vespa actually just stalls. Now this is really odd because normally if you jump start it, you can then take the crocodile clips off and it'll carry on running and carry on charging up the battery. Now either I've got a massive fault somewhere or this battery is just so bad that it can't even hold a charge to keep it running. This battery is about 7 years old, so it's pretty much at the end of its lifespan, so I'm just going to remove it and I've decided to buy a brand new one. You may have to pre-order the battery because they do need to charge it up for you. Here to pick up my new battery. And you've got the sticker on the front saying it's filled and charged. Now what I'm going to do first is just make sure that it's absolutely identical to the one that I took out, just so there's no problems with fitting it in. That's the old one and here's the new one. Absolutely identical. Fabulous. Right, let's get it fitted. And there's a link above now about the things that I hate about my Vespa GTS 300. First of all, we need to put the battery tray in. This just sits at the bottom of the chassis. Now on the brand new battery, you just need to put the locking nuts in first, one on either side, so that when you screw the nuts down, it goes in nice and tight. If you forget to put those in, it's not going to work. Let's just put the other side in. Right, now we can get this into the Vespa. Make sure it goes the right way round. It should sit nice and easily inside that plastic tray and then not move at all. Might take a bit of a wiggle. There we go, fabulous. Right, now we need to get the terminals on. I'm going to put the positive one on first. Make sure that the other terminal, the negative terminal, is wrapped up in a rag and not touching any part of the chassis. Otherwise you're going to start having electric shock problems and you might blow some fuses. That one's nice and tight. Let's get the negative one on. Don't hesitate with this, just put it on nice and firmly and then just get it screwed down. Whilst I'm doing that, there's a link above now about the things that I love about my Vespa GTS 300, just to balance out the hate and love argument. It's definitely worth watching those two videos if you're thinking about buying one second hand. Right, those are nice and tight. So we've got the immobiliser light flashing, which is a good start. All the anticipation. I'm just going to have a quick cup of tea first and then let's see if it fires up. Right, here we go. Come on, please. I'm hoping it was a dud battery. Right. Woohoo! Fabulous! Absolutely fantastic. And we've got no warning light on the dashboard anymore, which was the injection engine fault light. And it's running like a dream. Oh, I'm very happy about that. And there's a link above now about the dashboard lights meaning on this Vespa GTS. Batteries don't last forever. I don't use my Vespa that much. So if you just leave it sitting around, the battery's going to drain. Ideally you want to take it for a run at least once a week, or at least start it up. If not, then stick it on a trickle charger, one which won't overcharge it. I've got my multimeter on here again. It's saying 14 volts, which means that the battery is charging. So we haven't got a problem with the alternator, and it was always the battery all along, which is absolutely great news. Now if it was the alternator, that would be showing about 12 volts and it would mean that your battery is not charging. But this has been a great result for me. I was thinking, oh no, I really don't want to have to get into all the electronics and checking the alternator. Let's just put this cover back on. Then I think we'll go for a little ride. I'm just checking my mirrors here, and talking of mirrors, there's a link above now about how to tighten the mirrors and adjust them on this Vespa. Out on the road, this Vespa GTS 300 is absolutely fantastic. Twist and go technology is absolutely brilliant, and it's a really nice punchy engine. If this hasn't fixed your issue, then you can try the master key if you've still got the master key, in case it's an immobiliser problem. It's also worth checking the spark plug and the HT lead, and make sure there's plenty of fuel in the tank. I really hope that this video managed to help you out with your Vespa today, and safe riding to everybody out there. If you found that video useful, please subscribe by pressing this button down here so you don't miss more videos on how to save you time and money. There's also some other videos around the edges of the screen here. If any of those are useful to you, then you can select those now. Thank you for visiting my channel, everyone. I really appreciate it.